Lost American. This video will be the first in my series of videos on unrestricted warfare. This covers the introduction chapter. During the middle part of my freshman year of high school in 1997, my friend and I used to discuss what War of China would be like. I can't remember a lot of the details that we talked about then, but I do know that we both believed that War of China would be coming soon. Today I think that it may still come, but I'm more interested in how wars of the future will be fought. When I heard about the book Unrestricted Warfare by two Chinese colonels, I knew I had to check it out. First, what I was saying earlier is it was written by two Chinese colonels in 1999. Now, I'm not even going to begin to pronounce those names there, but these two Chinese colonels wrote this book, and I'm not actually 100% sure about its influence. I heard about the book on Twitter a few months ago, and it's something I decided to check out. The book mainly focuses on how weaker states may be able to defeat larger states. So it focuses a lot about how a weaker state could take on a larger state like the United States and essentially destroy it in war. But not only that, it argues further that the US looks at warfare mainly through the lens of technology, and there's other ways of how to fight wars. Technology is a bad thing, and at the same time, it's a good thing. And what technology is essentially doing is it's changing the very structure of society to really change the whole idea of what warfare is and how it's fought. In this short introduction, it's like 5 pages, the authors start by talking about technology. Please remember that a lot of the points here are from 1999. They are laying out their arguments which they build upon in the later chapters. Saying that, let's start. The first point that they make is technology is almost turning us into gods, but at the same time, it's becoming much harder to control. We have to constantly update our apps to ensure that they have the latest security on them. Technologies such as cloning or nanotechnology could cause huge issues for us in the future. I think a lot of us may have heard about the gray goo with nanotechnology, where some mad scientist is off in some lab working with nanotechnology and it gets out of his control and takes over the whole planet and turns it into a big thing of gray goo. The second point is that technology not only makes us godlike, but also quickly turns us into devils. Information technology has been great, but can quickly turn humans into its victims. I think that this point is clear to most people. There's not a lot of revolutionary ideas here. Throughout history, technology has both good and bad aspects, and it really depends on how it's used. Finally, they argue that information technology will eventually allow for the Internet of Things. This was obvious in 1999, but they really stress this point. They envision a world where everything is connected together. This will be great, but again also has huge consequences if it's misused. What happens if everything is linked together and the weakest chain in that link gets hacked? Next, the authors talk about globalization and technology and how they feed off of each other. Technology, without a doubt, has brought the world closer together. From here, they move into talking about how technology blurs what can be defined as war. They write the following. Does a single hack attack count as a hostile act or not? Can using financial instruments to destroy a country's economy be seen as a battle? Did CNN's broadcast of an exposed corpse of a US soldier in the streets of Mogadishu shake the determination of the Americans to act as the world's policemen, thereby altering the world's strategic situation? Now, some people may say that this is obviously war. Yet, I've had friends that would argue that it's not war unless the enemy is essentially bombing us or doing something like attacking our troops. They don't see a hack that disrupts Wall Street as an attack. I will say that the authors, at this point, do not appear to be arguing if such a hack happens, whether or not that is a hostile act. They are only rhetorically asking such questions of what is war? What exactly is a hostile act? How does one build strategy? To me, the authors want people to start thinking about the changing face of war. Having the latest jet fighter such as the F-35 is cool, but shutting down a power plant in an enemy country would be very devastating and may not even be seen as an act of war if it looks like an accident. Towards the end of this brief introduction, they state the following. When we suddenly realize that all these non-war actions may be the new factors constituting future warfare, we have to come up with a new name for this new form of warfare, unrestricted warfare. This kind of war means that all means will be in readiness, that information will be omnipresent, and the battlefield will be everywhere. In summary, I found this brief introduction fascinating, and I'm excited to get more into this book and to see where this goes. Again, over the years, I've met people who argue that war is only when soldiers are effectively involved, one army clashing with another. That is what war is to them. I think that these two colonels are arguing that view has to change. Some brief points. The book focuses on how a weaker opponent can beat a stronger one. The way that a weaker opponent may win is that warfare is not all about just fighting. Instead, you need to break your opponent's will through whatever means necessary. Information technology is changing the way that warfare will be fought. It is essentially making different avenues of how to break your opponent's will. Do you shut down their national power supply, crash the stock market, or use the media to make the public stop believing in what they're fighting for? All of these things are able to be attacked because of information technology. War is about getting someone else to submit to your will, and with that, we'll dig into Chapter 1.